Prince Harry and Meghan Markle found themselves the subject of a sharp joke during Colin Jost's Weekend Update on Saturday night.
Girl, you will not believe what just went down on live TV. Colin Jost, yes, that Colin from SNL, looked dead into the camera with that smug little smirk of his and just dropped a bomb about Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Like he didn't even flinch. Just threw shade like it was confetti at a New Year's Eve party. Said something like, the UK wants us to keep them, as in Harry and Meghan. Ouch. And y'all, the audience, they lost it.
Companies. All that Britain demands in return is that we keep these two.
Laughter everywhere. But let's not pretend that was just a TT moment. No. That was a straight up jab, a dig, a slap in the face disguised as a joke. Because no matter how much Meghan tries to rebrand, to polish that image, people just cannot, will not forget her past. The internet, baby, the internet remembers everything. And right on cue, guess what resurfaces? Old photos. I mean, really old photos. We're talking Yacht days. And suddenly, bam, that one infamous pic pops up again. You know the one, the blurry but not too blurry photo of a woman who looks an awful lot like Meghan, lounging on a yacht in the early 2010. Fancy vibes, bougie sunglasses, rich guy energy, influencers clinking champagne glasses. The whole scene screams, I'm already in the inner circle. Like, hold up. This didn't look like some up-and-coming actress hustling for her big break. No, this looked like someone who was already rubbing elbows with the rich and powerful. And people, they started doing what people do best, speculate. Suddenly, the fairy tale narrative isn't so sparkly. What if, just what if, Meghan didn't just fall in love with the prince? What if she played the game, made the moves, positioned herself like a chess queen, waiting for her royal checkmate? That one photo, it cracked open all the questions, not because it was scandalous, but because of what it suggested. Like, was this all planned? And honey, if there's one thing people hate, it's finding out their feel-good story might have been a PR stunt. And guess who brought all of that energy right back to the surface? Yep, Colin Jost.
She's still experiencing issues after leaving Meghan's employment. And the way she treated me, she says, of Meghan, can only be described as dehumanizing. She also said, you only hear about the professional positions, but the household staff departures are much higher.
So picture this, it's Mother's Day weekend. Most people are posting flowers and brunch pics, but over on Saturday Night Live, it's roast o'clock. Colin Jost and Michael Che are doing their usual weekend update shtick, except this time Colin goes in. He starts talking about a trade deal between the UK and the US, and out of nowhere, bam, all Britain wants in return is that we keep these two, he says, and up pops a photo of Harry and Meghan on screen. Savage, national TV. And everyone saw it. Now, here's where the universe got really ironic. The very next day, Meghan posted a sweet little photo on Instagram, you know, all smiles and cuddles with Archie and little Lily, like nothing happened. Like her face wasn't just the punchline of America's biggest comedy show. Girl, the timing could not have been more awkward. Oh, and 2 nights before that joke aired, Meghan and Harry were spotted at Beyonce's concert, Cowboy Carter, baby, just vibing in the Sophie Stadium in LA. It looked like a cute little date night. Meghan even posted clips Harry kissing her cheek, all smiles and snuggles. PR goals. And listen, Meghan's been out here gushing about Harry. On the Jamie Kern-Lima show, she literally compared him to the hero from Super Mario Bros. That's my husband, she said, like she just won the love lottery. She went on about how he's her rock, how much he loves her, how beautiful their life is, which is adorable, yes, but also kind of convenient timing, considering what's brewing in the background. See, ever since ditching royal duties in 2020 and settling into Montecito, it's been drama after drama. Most recently, Harry lost his legal fight to get taxpayer-funded security in the UK. And word on the royal street is they don't trust him at all. A source spilled the tea to Page 6, and y'all, it's icy. Basically said the royals think trust is broken beyond repair. Not just with Harry, but with Meghan too. No calls, no invites, no family hugs, just silence. Meanwhile, Meghan and Harry are over here dancing at concerts and pretending like everything's fine. But we're not buying it. And Colin? He kept the fire going, made another jab, said Meghan's always rewriting her past depending on who she's trying to impress. And that line cut deep. Because let's be real, The Reddit detectives and armchair investigators have been saying that for months. Years even. The internet is on a full-on scavenger hunt. People pulling up old guest lists, zooming in on blurry photos, using AI facial recognition. It's CSI Instagram out here. And it's not even the tabloids leading the charge anymore. It's bored folks with Wi-Fi and something to prove. And Meghan launching her brand with Spotify and Netflix, that just added fuel to the fire. Suddenly the whole "we're just telling our truth" thing started to look like, well, a business plan. And don't even get people started on the royal protocol stuff. That scene in the docuseries where Meghan mocks doing a curtsy, it didn't land. It looked performative, like she was trying too hard to prove how different she was from the royal world. People like Piers Morgan, and honestly, a ton of casual viewers, were not amused. It came across as dramatic, like they were trying to milk the victim card one too many times. And ever since that bombshell Oprah interview, you remember the one, where Meghan said the royals were worried about how dark the baby might be, the jokes haven't stopped. Talk show hosts, stand-up comics, even Chris Rock took swings at that one. It became the kind of meme moment that never really dies.
Oprah, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby was gonna be. They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people want to know.
Okay, let's talk about Harry's book because, it did not help their case. The tone, so stiff, so robotic, like you could almost hear the ghostwriter sighing behind every sentence. People couldn't connect to it. It didn't feel raw or real. It felt curated. And in the world of comedy, that kind of awkwardness, it's like blood in the water. Comedians were licking their chops. But let's be honest, the final straw wasn't the book. It was the moment Meghan and Harry, living in their giant mansion, rolling in Netflix and Spotify cash, started complaining about having to pay for their own security. Like, excuse me? That was the point where the public just snapped. Sympathy, gone. Banished. Poof. People were like, you're sipping rosé in Montecito and want us to feel bad for you? Out of touch. That was the moment people turned. And comedy, it didn't just roast them, it grilled them. Enter South Park, and honey, they went there. Trey Parker and Matt Stone gave Meghan and Harry an entire episode, the Worldwide Privacy Tour, and they did not hold back. They mocked Harry's memoir, his endless media complaining, his whole leave us alone vibe, while he's literally out there chasing the camera. The contradiction was too juicy not to point out. And Meghan? Oh, she got it worse. In one brutal scene, an animated Meghan gets straight up dragged by a fake interviewer. You say you want privacy, but you're literally everywhere, basically. Meanwhile, Harry's animated self is just standing there, clueless, nodding along like a little lost puppy, digging himself deeper and deeper. And don't even get me started on that jet scene. The one where Meghan and Harry are flying around screaming, "We want privacy!" through giant megaphones, like Chef's Kiss. That scene, iconic, painfully accurate, and the public ate it up. Then comes the most savage twist. The couple finally lands in a quiet, peaceful neighborhood. Chins, you'd think they'd be happy, right? And then, oh yes, the Prince Andrew angle. Okay, this one is messy, so deep breath. There have been whispers for years about old party connections, shared acquaintances, photos with shady backgrounds, nothing confirmed. No bombshell smoking gun, but it's the pattern that keeps raising brows. Again and again, critics are asking if Meghan stands for transparency and truth like she always claims. Why go silent now? She fought tabloids, she spoke up before. Why the hush-hush act all of a sudden? And honestly, it's bad timing, like really bad. Just as Meghan's trying to rebrand with her lifestyle brand, podcast dreams, and motivational interviews, this stuff is crawling back from the internet graveyard. It's making what should be a fresh new era look like damage control. People who once adored her for challenging the royal machine are now like, wait, was this all an act? Because when you build your whole public identity on empowerment and then stay silent while your past gets dragged out, that's not strength, that's spin. And it's not just about the images, it's the questions. Why did those old friends disappear? Why are the photos missing? Why the sudden hush? And the scary scariest question of all. What if the real Meghan was never the one we saw? So back to that infamous Colin Jost joke. At first, it felt like just another SNL zinger. But girl, when you really look at it, that joke did more than just land. It shifted perception. It pulled off Meghan's designer mask on national TV and said, hey, maybe this isn't all what we thought it was. And the audience laughed, sure, but not in a ha, so funny way. It was that uncomfortable laugh, the kind where everyone's thinking the same thing, but no one wants to say it until someone finally does. In that moment, Meghan, this carefully curated royal rebel goddess figure, turned into a punch line. And once you become a punchline, baby, it's hard to go back. The craziest part, that one tiny SNL segment cracked everything wide open. Like, if it had just stayed buried in Reddit threads or deep dive conspiracy TikToks, maybe Meghan could have ignored it. But once it hit SNL, it became mainstream. The kind of thing news outlets can't ignore, even the ones that usually handle her with silk gloves. Now headlines are whispering stuff like digital cleanup, deleted history, and Meghan's mysterious silence. Even the friendly media is side-eyeing. And who pushed it into overdrive? Not the press, not the paparazzi, not even royal insiders. It was the internet. Regular people sitting in their living rooms with iPads and way too much time. We're talking social sleuths who pulled out their facial recognition tools, opened their old saved Insta screenshots, and said, wait a minute. What they found wasn't some dramatic scandal or smoking gun. It was scarier than that. It was a pattern. Old yacht photos lining up with long forgotten social media posts, guest lists from elite parties that just so happen to include names Meghan's been associated with, Instagram captions that vanished, blog posts archived and wiped, LinkedIn connections that suddenly broke. And the weirdest part? The people around her, the stylists, the influencers, the co-stars, the ones who used to brag about knowing her, they've gone silent too. Some, rumors say, were made to sign NDAs. Others just dipped and never looked back. And that silence, it's deafening. Because we all know what silence means in this world. Silence doesn't protect you. It makes people curious. It makes them dig deeper, especially when it's coming from someone who once never shut up about transparency and owning your story. It's got people wondering, what else did she edit out of her story? The speeches, the motivational mantras, the stories about being an outsider, the whole girl just trying to do good vibe. Was it real or was it image management? People are starting to feel like they weren't let into Meghan's truth. They were sold her brand. And here's the thing, nobody's mad that she had a past. We all have a past. The issue is acting like it never happened, like it never existed. Because when you pretend to be one thing and the truth starts leaking, that betrayal stings harder than the lie ever could. Meghan wasn't supposed to be this person. She was supposed to be real, the change, the outsider who shook up the palace, who stood for something bigger. But now, that she's becoming a cautionary tale about over-polishing your story, about curating your life so much that it turns into a lie you can't maintain. And all of it, the whispers, the photos, the deleted content, it's not going away. Every day, another old clip surfaces, another blurred photo is sharpened, another friend of a friend gets interviewed on a podcast. This isn't a little PR hiccup. This is a slow, painful unraveling. Because when someone builds their brand on truth and then starts acting shady, people don't forget. They start talking, they start digging, and suddenly that polished royal sheen, it cracks. All from a joke. One tiny joke on Saturday Night Live. That's the wildest part. Colin Jost didn't accuse anyone. He didn't reveal a secret. He just said out loud what everyone else had been muttering. And in doing that, he opened a floodgate. And now the story isn't just about one yacht photo or one deleted post. It's about how much of Meghan's story was real and how much was PR. Because it's not the scandal that brings someone down, it's the cover-up.